You're listening to Highly Classified, an Area 51 Conspiracy Theories podcast.
Aliens? Aircraft? Weapons? There are a lot of theories concerning what goes on at the famous military base in Nevada, Homey Airport, or as it's more commonly called, Area 51. But what really goes on in Area 51? It seems like nobody really has an answer to what the military base is even for, other than the vague answer of military stuff. Hi, I'm Sia, and I'm not a big believer in conspiracy theories, but I do find them incredibly entertaining and I love learning about them. In Highly Classified, we're going to go through the conspiracies surrounding one of, if not the most secretive place on Earth, Area 51. In this episode, we're going to cover one of the most popular conspiracies surrounding Area 51, aliens and UFOs. In order to start my exploration of this conspiracy, I've decided to go out and ask some people about what they've heard and what they know.
I'm out on the Toronto Metropolitan University campus right now to get some students' opinions on what they think is going on in Area 51. What do you think is going on in Area 51?
Honestly, something suspicious. Like, if there was no reason to be covering anything up, then I'm not sure why they would be.
I don't know. Hopefully they're having fun.
I think there are tiny little aliens on tables that are being dissected as we speak.
Do you think aliens exist? Why or why not?
I definitely think something exists. Do I think that the gray monster with big black eyes is what we have in the universe? Probably not, but it's definitely something.
I don't think aliens exist because I believe that we are far past aliens existing and what that would look like.
I think they exist like outside, like in space, but I'm kind of skeptical if like they actually exist on Earth, just because like it seems like people, like humans, are very conceited. Is that the right word?
Have you or anyone else you know ever had experiences with aliens?
Yeah, well, I don't actually know who these people are, but I went to like my family friends once, and the woman who like lives at the house was like, they live like next to a forest and you can see like the forest. She's like, one day I was like sleeping in my living room and I wake up to see like a beam of light and a UFO shining through the forest, and I'm like, did you take a picture? She's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so that's nice.
Honestly, yes. One of my mom's friends once claims that she saw a UFO, and she said it was the craziest experience she's ever had. Again, I wasn't there, so I can't back her up, but, you know, if you saw something interesting, I'm not going to say that you didn't see it.
Well, there you have it. The people who have spoken, and the vast majority of them seem to agree that they have no idea what's going on. But a lot of them seem hopeful that there are aliens, and that's pretty much it.
So, I've asked a lot of people, but most of them don't seem to know much more about this theory than I do. So I decided to bring someone into the studio who knows a little bit more about what we're talking about.
I don't personally believe that there are aliens in Area 51, but I've brought in someone who does. I'm here with Mark, a self-proclaimed believer in aliens. Thanks for joining me.
No problem.
So Mark, tell me about yourself. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm an engineering student, and I believe in aliens.
So, what's the typical reaction you usually get when you tell people that you believe in aliens?
They think I'm lying. They think the story is a lie, but it's not a lie, it's real. And they don't treat me normal. They're like, oh, this guy's probably, stupid or something.
So, can you tell me about your story with aliens? Because I heard you have one.
So, basically, I was a little kid, and I was outside my house, and I look up in the sky, and it's two oval-shaped flying objects that are just there. And first I thought it was like a helicopter or like an airplane, but when I got closer, the light just got brighter, and I remember seeing aliens in their regular form. And then I remembered a really bright light just shining in my eyes, and then I remember not remembering anything, because the next day I saw the aliens and I passed out, and I woke up in my bed the next day. And a week later, I remember I'm just eating food, and then I hear a knock. I go outside, and it's some tall guys in black suits, right? So I was like, yeah, how can I help you? And they came in, and they're like, tell me that the UFO I saw, That wasn't real, and like I couldn't tell anyone about that. And then they threatened me, like if I told someone about that, I would be kidnapped by aliens.
Okay, so you're telling us about it, so do you think that you're gonna be kidnapped by aliens?
Nah, aliens can't kidnap me. I'm stronger than them.
So, like, what did these aliens look like?
Aliens can take up many forms, but the form I saw was, it was like a slimy person who stood 4'6", and they had a really big head and a really tiny body, and they had little antennas coming out of their head, and they had really big black eyes, so they were pretty scary.
Alright, so thanks for being here, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy engineering schedule to be here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
After speaking with members of the public and with Mark, I've decided to explore the actual conspiracy theory in a bit more depth and learn how it came to be the way that it is today. Surprisingly, Area 51 was only confirmed to exist by the CIA in June of 2013, although the existence of the base wasn't secret, only the happenings inside of it. Still, people have been speculating about whether or not there's extraterrestrial life in Area 51 for decades, largely due to one man and his story. The year is 1989. Robert Scott Lazar, aka Bob Lazar, has just claimed that not only do aliens exist, they exist right here on Earth, shielded from view of the public by the United States government in a top-secret facility called S4, a subsidiary of Area 51 located a couple kilometers south of the main Area 51 facility. Bob Lazar's main claim was that the United States government had gotten a hold of and was trying to reverse engineer alien technology, presumably to work on human technology and aircraft. Using the pseudonym Dennis, Bob Lazar did an interview with Los Angeles reporter George Knapp, where he claimed to have seen flying saucers made by and for aliens, using antimatter reactors and gravity propulsion systems. Eventually, though, Dennis came out with his real name and face, saying it was to protect himself from the government, and what they might do to him as a whistleblower. It is worth noting that UFO sightings existed long before Bob Lazar claimed to see the spacecraft in Area 51, with people seeing flying saucers as early as the 2nd millennium BCE. But there are far less records and evidence for those sightings in the 50s, where dozens of reports of UFOs and alien spacecraft exist. However, there is an explanation for these UFO sightings, and it comes in the report that the CIA made public in 2013. Around the same time as the large influx of UFO sightings in the 50s, the United States government was testing the U-2, a very human-made and not alien jet. So it's actually very likely that these UFOs that people were spotting were just airplanes. But thankfully, Lazar has more to add to the story. Not only did he see the spacecraft, he also saw the aliens that came to Earth in it. He described what we know today as a classic gray alien. Short, child-sized and bald, with a big head and black eyes, although he only saw the corpses that they were working on. He said that they were from a planet from the Zeta Reticuli star system, and they've been involved with Earth for the past 10,000 years. Now, Lazar had a lot of influence. His story captivated audience and made them question what the hell was going on in the government and why they were keeping so many secrets. He popularized the UFO and alien theory in Area 51, and a lot of people to this day believe what he said in that 1989 interview. However, it's worth noting a couple of holes in his story. For starters, Bob Lazar's claim that he was a physicist for the government was disputed because the lab that he supposedly worked at has no record of him. Also, Lazar's master's degree in physics just doesn't exist. He claims to have gotten it from MIT and gotten another master's degree in electronics from Caltech, but both schools said that he didn't go there. In fact, it's unlikely that he would have gone into either of those schools considering that he graduated late and in the bottom of his class. So, it doesn't look like Bob Lazar is telling the truth about his past. But still, a lot of people stand behind him despite him not actually having any real evidence to corroborate his story. What's worse than that is the fact that Lazar is also a convicted criminal. He was arrested for his involvement in a prostitution ring, among other non-related charges for shipping illicit chemicals, which doesn't do any favors for his credibility. So, do I think that there are aliens out there? Yeah, actually, I do think there's intelligent life outside of Earth. But do I think they've reached Earth at any point in history? Maybe. But do I think that Bob Lazar was telling the truth? That's a strong probably not for me. Regardless of whether or not his story is true, it has a huge impact on the way Area 51 is perceived today. And so, that brings us to the end of this episode. The ultimate question is, are there aliens in Area 51? The answer seems to be a resounding maybe? Probably not, but maybe. I personally do believe in aliens, not because of any personal experience or because of something I've heard or anything, or because of Bob Lazar, but I think it's a lot scarier to imagine us being the only intelligent life in the entire universe, or maybe just a lot lonelier. Hopefully, the answer of what lies in Area 51 will be answered soon, whether that's aliens or not. Thanks for listening. This has been Highly Classified.